Hi, everybody. Good morning and welcome to another episode of School Food for Thought, the SNA podcast, sponsored by Cool Tropics. So thank you for your support for this episode. I'm here today with Brian Wolverton from Cool Tropics, K-12 Director, and Dawn Soto, Senior Training Specialist at LA Unified School District. Very excited to talk about a topic that is really dear to my heart and I think important to everyone. Marketing your programs. So we brought Dawn here to talk about the fantastic work that she does in LA. So I'm going to start with you, Dawn, and I'm going to pass it on to Brian because Brian's here because in addition to the very successful partnership that he has with Dawn, he'll share some of the things that he's seen throughout the country with school districts of all different sizes. So we'll get great ideas and insights during the discussion.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, we are from Los Angeles Unified. That's in the fantastic Southern California. And we do have a very robust meal program with 689 cafeterias. We do have a reach out to 1,100 schools. And marketing our program is very crucial to get our participation increased and to get some excitement into the phenomenal job that our food service professionals do each and every day.
Fantastic. And Dawn, what you say are some of the challenges when it comes to marketing your programs? Who do you talk to? You talk to the parents, you talk to the students, you talk to the communities, to your team. How do you go about that?
Well, our students are an integral part of our meal program. We do a lot of taste testing. We do many student vendor fairs. We reach out to them in their schools as well with our cafeteria managers. Now, large scale, we do require and count on the feedback from our parents, but really our board and some of the parameters that we have can be kind of a hindrance for us. We are a very large school district. Some of the things that we could do if we were a smaller school district, if we had 10 schools, 15 schools, 20 schools, the creativity in our marketing could be like unsurpassed. But with a large school district, we do have a lot of red tape and a lot of politics that go into play, and that can be a hindrance in us getting the message out to all of our shareholders.
Yes, I can totally see that. The more resources you have, and sometimes when people on the outside don't realize it, right? Oh, they have all those resources, they have all this money, but they do have a lot of stakeholders that they have to work with. So, Brian, in your experience, when it comes to marketing, and you've seen programs really have faced the same challenges a lot of times, but how do they go about doing things that work for their specific programs, for the specific context in which they operate?
I think what I see most successful marketing programs are those that just keep it very simple. They understand what they can do, the amount of options that are available to them, the labor that's involved, the amount of people they can connect with, and then move forward. I've seen, travel in the country, you get to see the large metros like the LAs, but you also get to see the 6 school districts or the 2 location school districts, and marketing can be just as successful in any of those. And by keeping it simple, using National Food Days, for instance, is one of those really simple ideas that I've seen people do with a lot of success. Don't try to go beyond your capabilities of the program. Get everyone excited. Get as many people involved as you can, whether it not just be you to have all the responsibilities, but get your staff involved, get them excited. Maybe you have the art department involved, or if you have a social media team or a high school that has a program that are looking for the students to have things to do that they're looking to do in their future, there's a lot of options that you may not think about as resources immediately. You look at your initial team as all the resources, but if you can go beyond that, you can really create a pretty neat marketing program. And again, just keep it simple, keep it fresh, and just get everyone involved. And that could be anything from, like I said, the National School Days, recipe contests, dress-up days. It doesn't have to be complicated. You just want to create a fun environment for the students.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned social media, and 20 years ago it wasn't there. 10 years ago it wasn't what it is today. And it, in a way, made it more accessible for programs of different sizes to reach out to their stakeholders. Do you have any tips?
Yes, you want to create FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. If you can create the students a demand, not just with the students, but also the parents. So if you can say, hey, next week we're celebrating National Cheeseburger Day. that cheeseburger has taken on a whole new meaning because the parents are thinking of it as a celebration of the cheeseburger, right? It could be the same cheeseburger that you have had on your menu 3 months prior. But that day, because you're making a celebration out of it, mom and dad are more likely, if they see it on whatever they're using, they're going to want to make sure that their children don't miss out on that celebration. And just to get them to say to mom and dad, to their son or daughter, hey, do you want to have school lunch next week? It's National Cheeseburger, and you love cheeseburgers. You've won. You've created that interest through social media to motivate them to come into the cafeteria and have lunch with you that day.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that something that you do a lot on with your team in LA?
100%. Now, I'm going to really recommend everybody start watching your TikTok, start watching your Instagram, any of these little trends that are going on. If they're passing a book, you're passing a burrito in your cafeteria. If they're doing a dance, then your staff is going to learn that basic dance, and you're going to record yourself doing that dance, and you're going to share that content with your schools. Your schools have these little media centers, and they play videos. They do announcements. Why aren't they showing your staff out there? Highlight not just your food, but your staff. People are going to want to go where their friends are, and your staff can be their friends. And they will come to you whether you have a winning item or a losing item. They're going to come to you because they just can't wait to see you and your smile.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We see a lot of those trends in cafeterias and the retail. And I want to ask you this, because a lot of times what you see first in terms of foods and even fashion, right? Mm-hmm. You see retail first, and then it comes to schools. And in the past, I think the leeway was a lot longer than it is now, right? So how do you incorporate all the trends, the TikToks and, food trends and new items and the changing tastes of students? How do you keep it fresh day in, day out in your cafeteria?
I find you really leverage your partnerships with your vendor partners. They have marketing dollars. They have marketing dollars that you don't have. And they're current. They're on trend. They have constantly renovating themselves. Utilize your partners. And do you have marketing materials that I can use? You can put your logo on there. You can put your name of your school on there. It's ready to go. This is turnkey. And really take advantage of them.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Brian? I mean, Cool Tropics, I know, is a really good partner to a lot of school districts, and you guys take pride in the work that you do.
We do, and we just try to help take out a lot of those steps. And not everyone has a person that they can dedicate to marketing, so we try to do not just give them the tools, but also inspire them to think outside the box as well. Oh, I can use the same concept, but for another item. I love what Dawn said too. It doesn't have to be food-centric. Market your program, market your people. They're the ones that the students come in every day to have lunch with. They're the ones that depend on them smiles and that little touch point that makes their day better. And that's who we should also be marketing. Does not always have to be, driven around the food. But yeah, manufacturers, vendors out here, we're here at ANC. There's all kinds of opportunities to utilize your partners. If they don't have marketing, maybe they'll do something for you. You don't have to shoulder all that burden. And sometimes it can inspire to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Just need that little bit of nudge, and that's what we try to do at Cool Tropics. We try to create fun days. We've created holidays. Think outside the box as much as you can. One of our most successful programs is our Winter Beach Bash. January is a boring month. There's nothing happening, so we created a tropical party in January. It doesn't take a lot to motivate kids to have fun, and we all know our cafeteria folks, they love to dress up. They love to decorate the cafeterias. You give them another reason to do that, and you've won on all levels.
Yeah, we know that. They love all our holidays and the National School Breakfast Week and Lunch Week. You both mentioned something about going beyond food. And we always hear about our members, the school nutrition professionals, that in the school building, many times they're the only ones that have no expectations for the kids. Of course, the teachers, the principal, everybody wants them to do well, but there's are you getting good grades? Are you behaving? Are you doing this? Your coach, how are you doing in sports? And when they come to the cafeteria, they're there to be fed, right? Mm-hmm. And so that human interaction is really key. And as we talked about, you will hear here at ANC at some of the sessions about AI, how the workforce is going to change. It's something that I assume that you all are struggling with hiring people. And some of all the tests are going to be automated. But there are some things that a robot will never be able to do. And I thought it was interesting when I heard a conversation about, okay, you can automate a lot of the processes, but when it comes to the customer service, right, that the connection that you make with the child, with the student, that is where we add value.
I 100% agree with you on that. Just, you know, there's a human smile. There's a human connection that we make with people, and that matters, and it means a lot. And if we really want to, I don't want to get too deep into this, but the social, emotional aspect of this, that the social media can be a bonus. The social media can be a negative. And when the children are coming into the cafeteria, it's something they can't get away from. But can they come and have a moment of reprieve? Can they have a nice meal? Can they connect with a smile? That welcome, that good morning, that thank you for being here today may be the only kind words, unfortunately, some of our students are going to hear. So let's make every day in your cafeteria a celebration. Think about when you go to a restaurant, why do you go to a restaurant? Well, because I'm hungry and I don't want to cook, and that may be it. But the majority of time, when you go to a restaurant with friends or family, it is to connect, and it is a celebration. Well, I think every single day in your cafeteria is a phenomenal celebration, and we are here to give every kid a celebration during breakfast, lunch, after-school snack, after-school supper program, whatever that may be, each and every day could be a phenomenal experience. And I hope that you share that with your staff, that makes that food even taste even better when it is served and prepared with that favorite ingredient. What's that favorite ingredient? Love.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I was going to ask you both this. As we struggle with hiring people and retaining people, how do you keep your teams? You've been with LA Unified for a long, long time. Same with you, right? You've been with Cool Tropics for a long time. And you're building teams, right? And you can't do the work that you do if you don't have a solid team that will do that with you. How do you keep them motivated? Because everybody's asked every day to do more with less.
You know, the word culture is overused unless you really make it center in what you're doing. And that's what we try to do. We try to make our culture bring the best people on board and make you think really hard about that next possible opportunity. And we ask everybody that comes on board with Cool Tropics, the first thing, and we don't want the answer, we want them to think about it, but if you can't serve your teammates, then maybe you shouldn't work here, because if you serve your teammates, then they're going to serve you back. And that's really something that we try to live and not just say with words, but really live it every day. And it starts with, you know, Frank down. Everyone who knows Frank knows what kind of human being he is. And culture is very, very big part of that. And I think that's the best part, to say we're going to try to give not just an experience of working at Cool Tropics, but make you feel that it's there's nothing better. And I truly feel like that's a way to keep employees on and going. Giving that culture, giving them a place that they really feel that they are part of something. Their words matter, their voices matter, their opinions matter, and it is difficult. I mean, it's difficult to find people that want to work every day, but if we give them that opportunity, and it's theirs to take and to make the best of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What about you, Dawn? How big's your staff? I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Well, I'm responsible for training 3,000 plus employees. And I will say, luckily for us, our turnover tends to be, well, somebody's promoting from one position to another, so they're going to leave school A and they're going to school B. That does create a vacancy in that area, but that's a fantastic vacancy to have. We also have, you know, people who have been with us for years, 30 years, 35 years. They're ready for that next journey in life. They're going to retire, and that might create, again, a happy vacancy. So we like to look at our retention of our staff as not really an issue, but just an opportunity for growth and movement and the fantastic things that, you know, this employment can do for their families and creating opportunities. And we have what we call legacies. In our district, we have multiple families that have 3, 4, 5, even upwards of 10 family members that have joined the food services team. So that's always a bonus when you think of bringing in new people, and they have a shared excitement for the work that we do, because they're hearing their families talk about going to work and coming in and feeling fulfilled with the students that they're interacting with.
Yeah, I always love it. There's one of our members here who works at the school that he attended as a child.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And I also love the way that we kind of brought these two things together, marketing and culture, because working in marketing, I constantly bring it up because marketing, yes, is supposed to be aspirational, but if you actually are not making strides towards that aspiration, then it doesn't work. So if you don't have a good culture, if you don't have a product that you are proud of, and that be, the food that you're serving, the services that you're providing, then, it's really hard to market. And I always say I could never take a job at a company, at an organization that I didn't believe in, because you're actually enabling, you're telling a story. And if the story is not true, then why are you doing it?
Right. It's got to come from the heart. Dawn mentioned a word experience. I just want to make sure we highlight that because that's something that I truly believe in. Not only are we creating experience for, specifically the kiddos in the cafeteria, we want that to be an experience, the best part of their day, but we should also be thinking about creating an experience for our teammates. Are they having an experience every day? Do they wake up and excited to come to work? And they should not be deprived of an experience too. And a happy, teammate is going to be even that much better when the children come in because it's just that connection just happens on its own and it's organic. And that experience is just one of my favorite words to use because I want the children to have the best experience every day in the cafeteria. And whether they're having a Cool Tropics product or not, that should be their best part of the day. I know that's why there's thousands of us here today, and tomorrow to connect and to create those experiences for our kids.
I absolutely agree with that. It's such a blessing to be able to work in this industry, to have a purpose and know that with each and every day that we go to work, that we are fulfilling somebody nutritionally, and social, emotionally, and it's such a profound sense of fulfillment. And I hope that all of our viewers feel that as well, and know that whether we're from California or around the nation, we appreciate each and every effort that you make in this journey that we're all in together. And I really want to thank everybody for their part in these federal meal programs because, our nation and our children of our nation really rely on them. And it's just amazing. And I just can't say how much I just really appreciate everybody's efforts and the partnerships with, our vendors and bringing them in as well. There's a united sense of purpose.
Yeah, you brought up exactly what I was thinking. When I think about not only being here at ANC obviously makes it abundantly clear, but what you have is a real community when we hear that there's no competition, right? Because the work that you're doing in LA can be an inspiration and can be somehow replicated in Alabama or anywhere in the country. And when people come together to share their experiences and learn from each other, I think you're just benefiting a much higher cause. So that's what you see here. And when we talk about when people ask me what I do, where I work, and I honestly say that our members are the salt of the earth, and the diversity in this community is also beautiful because you have people that come from different places in life, different paths. You have people who started in the cafeteria and then made their way up. You have people that started in food service in restaurants. You have people that started in the school building doing something else and ended up there. But what really brings them together is this commitment that they have to the children. And I also think that's the one thing that we don't hear enough is that you all are educators. You are in that building and you educate those children. You might not be teaching them math, but just what you're saying. When you come in, a smile, and I see you, and how can I help you? And a lot of them have dietary restrictions or for whatever reasons, and the fact that you work with them and we work with that community, I think it really makes a long-term impression on them. Yeah, and I want to ask, before we wrap up, because it is about marketing, if you could have, if there was one campaign that you did, something that you did in LA that you're particularly proud of, that you'd share with us, I'd love to hear that.
We did an art contest, and we received over 3,000 submissions of artwork, and that got the kids excited. They were turning them into the cafeteria, bringing them in, and asking if we knew who won, and we were posting their pictures all over the cafeteria. That was a really big highlight. And I also like to say, every year we do the National School Breakfast, National School Lunch Weeks, and this year, maybe it was the 70s theme or something, but all the cafeteria dressed up, the teachers were dressed up, they drove their VW bugs to work. We had videos of everybody playing disco music around the school, and I thought, wow, of all the years that I've done them, this is the one that I really wanted to happen. And so I'm so glad they just had a theme that just kind of connected with the multi-generations in the school communities. And so that was just fantastic.
Yeah, that's what we try to do. What about you, Brian?
You know, Dawn's point, my favorite marketing is when we connect different groups, whether it's like the art departments or, you know, different things to get more than just the nutrition community involved, to where you're getting buy-in from the superintendents and there's excitement created beyond that. And any marketing program that puts the spotlight on the work that you all do every day, to put that little bit of light on you is wonderful. And the art contest, I've seen recipe contests that have been done that have really created certain buzzes. Whenever you can get the kids involved competitively, everyone has a competitive spirit, and then have just a really good outcome that draws spotlight to, again, the hard work that the cafeteria teams are doing, the nutrition teams are doing around the country, I think is a home run.
Yeah, and the fact that you brought a very simple idea, an art contest, right? The kids love it. You have the tools there. You have all you need, really, so you can make it accessible. So I like that you brought something that it doesn't require a whole lot. I don't require a team of videographers or whatever. You know, just get the kids to use their creativity, showcase their talent.
Mm-hmm.
And dressing up. We all know that our teams love to dress up, so give them more options to dress up. They won't disappoint. And I think I try to put myself all the time as a child walking into a cafeteria that's doing something, and what's the experience, again, that they're going to see. If I can look through a child's eyes and see that, oh, Miss Cindy's wearing flowers in her hair and there's music playing, and, you know, what is that experience like when they go home to mom and dad and they say, how was your day? And they talk about their experience in the cafeteria, and it also connects mom and dad to all the work that you're doing as well. And you don't always hear the good things, you know, you hear a lot of the negatives, oh, this was wrong or that was wrong. But that one moment, if that child can come home and say, oh, Miss Cindy was dressed up and they had this on the menu and this was fantastic, I think that really does create that culture in the cafeteria that says we're trying hard and we really love your child. So
yeah, I think it's very important. You mentioned it. The work that you do is so important, and it has to get out of the cafeteria. So at SNA, all the campaigns that we're working on are, we know, we see you, but it's so important to build that partnership with the principal, with the superintendent, with the PTA, and because you've been so busy doing the work, because there's a lot of work to be done, sometimes those things are not top of mind, but they're crucial when you're trying. You talked about moving the progress, right? And the advocacy being so important, and it's important that people see you and the value that you bring so they can be your champions as well. So I think that brings us to a close. It's been a fun time to be here with you. I've learned so much. I hope our listeners are enjoying this too, and they can join us for this and for other episodes of School Food for Thought. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Brian, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. Appreciate it.